Hi guys, and welcome back to Newgate Nurseries. Sorry we've been away for a while and there hasn't been that many videos going out, but basically my cameraman has been doing his GCSEs because my son does all the videos, so I've had to wait a little while, but he's back in business now. So we're going to attempt to release a video once a month looking at things that are going to give you colour during that period of the season. Okay, so obviously summer's coming to a close, sadly. We've had horrendous heat waves, so a lot of stuff in the garden's really struggling. So I imagine now most gardens will be struggling for a little bit of colour. So late season colour is vitally important, and a lot of people who come to the nursery always say, well, what can we put now that'll give us colour until sort of, late autumn? So that's what we're going to look at today, late summer colour. So first of all, we're going to look at some perennials. So perennials are your herbaceous plants that are going to come up, die back in the winter, come back bigger and better every year and give you that colour spell. Then we're going to look at one or two shrubs that you can use for late summer colour, and then one or two grasses. Okay, and then in a month's time we're going to go on to autumn interest that are going to take you then from sort of late summer through the autumn into the winter. Okay, so these are all summer colour, late summer colour perennials, as you can see. We grow these in two sizes of pots. We have the 1 litre pot, which are all £3.99, 3 for £10, and then we do a 2 litre pot, which is twice the size. A 2 litre pot looks a little bit like this size. That's a bigger plant in a 2 litre pot, and they're all £6.99, 3 for £18. So if you were doing herbaceous border now, or you've got a few gaps in your herbaceous border, then we've got 3 different heights that we're looking at. We're going to look at front of the border, mid border and back border for late summer colour. Okay, so the first one we look at, I'll come down this side, is Aster Nova Belgi. Okay, this is a lovely perennial. It's very compact in its growth. Okay, it comes in a lot of different colours. This is a bright blue one. This is part of the younger crop of the white ones. Now this series that we grow is called the Magic series, and it's brilliant because it's compact, it's easy to grow, free flowering. The end of the season, or ideally early spring, give it a good chop back and away it comes from the base. Just as a side, all perennials grow from the crown, which is down here. Okay, so if you planted a perennial in its first season, what you need to do is leave all the growth on the top to protect it. That's like a blanket almost, and then come about March time after the winter, give it a prune back and all your growth will then come back. It will look untidy for the first season. Tolerate that, please, because if you cut them back in the autumn like a lot of people like to do, and it's a first year perennial and then it snows or it gets frosty, it can damage the crown. Okay, so that's asters. They grow to about 30 centimetres, all these do. This is brilliant. This is called Achillea Desert Eve. A nice little yellow Achillea that goes to a sort of like burnt orange in the end. This gets to about 25 to 30 centimetres and will spread out. Very easy to grow. Now then, Heleniums. Heleniums are very popular. You've probably heard of like Helenium Moorhigh Beauty or Sahin's Early Flower. They're the tall varieties. These are some brand new ones called Heyday, and these will only grow to about 20 to 30 centimetres. They're very free flowering. They come in 3 or 4 different colours, from sort of yellow, burnt orange to red. Okay, these are brilliant, they really are. You can grow them in containers all the front of the border. Finally, another front of the border is this compact sedum Hearth's Joy, which basically means autumn joy. Okay, it's going to get a lovely bright pink to red florets on the top. The butterflies love them, the black admirals, and again it's going to get to about 30 to 40 centimetres, this one. Brilliant for that sort of late lasting autumn colour. Right, so if you've got gaps in the middle of the border, then we're looking at something different. These all late flowering penstemons are fantastic. This is the Phoenix range. You can see these flowers are brilliant because the bees love to crawl inside those, so they're great for bees and butterflies. So that's your penstemon. That comes in about 5 different colours. Then we've got Coreopsis. This compact Coreopsis, it flowers like mad. Okay, that's Illico. There's about 3 or 4 different varieties of Coreopsis that we've got ready at the moment, but these will flower right through to about October time. You'll know this one probably, but this is Rudbeckia. Again, we've got about 3 or 4 different varieties of Rudbeckia. This one is a mid-season one. This is Fulgid Eye Gold Stern. That one will flower and flower until about October, November. And then we've got Lobelias. Again, we've got these in blues, in pinks, in reds. This likes a slightly damp soil, so if there's anywhere a bit clayey, again, gets to about sort of 40 to 50 centimetres and will give you colour September, October. If you're looking for something a bit taller, back of the border, then Verbena bonariensis is one. That's the tall one with the blue flowers, with loads of those. But I'm going to show you a few different things because you've probably seen that one about. So the first thing is the anemone. This is the white anemone on orange Joubert. This is going to get a good 3.5 foot tall. This likes a shady spot. Okay. Along with that goes this one, which is Pamina, which is a nice pink double. And again, that will flower September, October time. Crocosmias. You're probably all aware of the Crocosmia lucifer, which is the red one. This is a nice one though. This is Ember Glow. This is red with a little bit of yellow in the centre. We have lucifer as well, and we also have this one. Now these new varieties don't tend to spread as much as the old-fashioned Montbretia, so don't worry about that. That one is Emily Mackenzie. That's an orange one. Some other ones, now foxgloves, you probably think, well, they'll have finished flowering by now, but these perennial foxgloves we grow, they're called Virtuo. They're quite compact. They'll get to about 70 to 80 centimetres. They flower this year and they'll flower next year as well, so they're not just the biennial where they grow for 1 year and then they flower the year after. These do it all in the same season and then they come back because they're a true perennial. And they're flowering, again, September, October time. Lythrum. This is one of my favourite ones, this one, because it's beautiful pink spire-like flowers. The butterflies and bees love it. It loves damp soil, so if you've got a clay area or a bog garden, this will go mad. Okay, very easy. You can't lose it once it's established. And that's going to get about 60 to 70 centimetres. We've done a video on these already, which are Alströmerias. Alströmeria Indian Summer is one of the best ones. Okay, these have been brilliant in the garden. They've come back well from last year, and they've tolerated that heat really well as well, so that's a good thing. This one has a dark leaf and an orange flower. There's loads of different varieties of Alströmerias that we sell. Then we've got Echinaceas. They can come in pink, in orange, in red, double ones, single ones, white ones. This is a yellow one. Okay, this is Kismet yellow. This one will grow about 80 centimetres, really bright. The good thing about the Echinacea, just one little side on that, is once you've deadheaded them and the final flush of flowers has appeared and you think, well, we're not going to get many more, then leave that old seed heads on, because the birds love foraging for the seeds in the autumn and winter. Now this is probably the best late flowering perennial you can buy, because it flowers later than all the others. This one will flower November time. Okay, this one used to be called Schizostylus, it's now called Hesperantha. Okay, there's a few different varieties. There's Oregon Sunset, there's Pink Princess, we've got them all here. It's not yet showing flowers, but it will do very shortly, and the flowers are beautiful. It used to be called the Kaffir Lily. So if you look that one up online, we've got plenty of these, and these are all part of the $6.99. Okay, so that covers the perennials. Then we're going to be looking at some shrubs. So if you need a bit of structure in the garden that's going to be potentially evergreen, but you need colour in the autumn or late summer, then what can we use? Well, I've only picked a couple because we're going to do a separate video on autumn colour, but these down here are fantastic. So the Hebes are evergreen, they're compact, you can grow them in a container or part of a sunny or part sunny border. These varieties are new varieties. This is called Addenda. All bred from Hebe Autumn Glory, basically, the old-fashioned autumn flowering Hebe, but these stay a lot more compact. As you can see, this one's got loads of buds, loads of flowers, butterflies and bees love it, and again it's evergreen, growing to about 80 centimetres tall. Now these are one of my favourites because you've got everything in there. So what they do, the growers put 3 to 4 different varieties that will grow and complement each other in one pot, and they call them Hebe Quattro. So here we've got Hebe Variegata, then you've got Champagne, then you have another variety here, and there's another one at the back here which is a white one. So you're going to have white flowers, dark pink, lilac, blue flowers, different foliages. All that will grow as one plant, and it will form a lovely sort of 3-foot dome with all the different coloured flowers right through the autumn. So the Hebes are great. That's Hebe Veronica. We've got loads of those in stock at the moment. Now, one thing we're selling lots of at the moment are hydrangeas. Hydrangeas, you'll know, are all in flower now. They took a hammering in that heat wave, so they do need that semi-shade environment if you can. They'll have a bit of moisture retentive soil as well. But these here are called Dutch ladies. And the good thing about these is they just hold their colour for longer. There's a variety of colours, as you can see. And some are not even flowering yet. Now, the good thing about these is these are on special offer at the nursery at the moment. They're in a 5-litre pot, full of flowers. Normally, and you pay anywhere up to £19.99 for these. We're doing them at £10 at the moment, so they're going really well. Okay, but they'll give you colour in a slightly shaded area. They're not evergreen, but anywhere under trees or somewhere it only gets half a day's sun, they're absolutely ideal. Now another hydrangea, so just so you're aware with these are macrophyllars, so your pruning on these is very limited because they flower on the growth that they made the previous season. So if you go and deadhead these too much, then you won't get flowers. So the key with these is allow them to flower, let all these flowers go russeted in the winter and allow them to stay on, and then come springtime, as your new buds are starting, literally just take off the flowering stem there to the first set of leaf buds. That's all you need to do. So you're literally just nipping the tops off, and you do that about March time. Okay. Now the other type of hydrangea is one called Hydrangea paniculata. Okay. Now paniculatas, like this one here, this is grown as a tree, which is quite unusual. Hydrangea paniculata, they flower on the growth they make this year. So you can cut those really hard back in the spring, like you would a buddleia or a lavatera, and they'll come up and they'll flower beautifully. Again, they're all different, and there's lots of different varieties we have at the nursery, but one particularly nice one is Pinky Winky, because this will come out white. So it'll come out white like this one, and then as the flower ages, it starts to change colour. And I love the cone shape as well. They're almost like an ice cream cornet. They're beautiful. They really sort of light up August, September. Leaves on the paniculata will go a lovely bright rusted red in the autumn before they drop. And then they're dead easy to look after because you're just going to chop them back hard to about sort of 4 or 5 buds from the base. Another one, we've got loads of new varieties of these coming out at the moment. And this one is called Sugar Rush, and this is grown for its huge flowers. Look how pure white they are. And that will never change. That will not go pink like the others. So some go pink, some go red, some just stay pure white. So these can be bought in big pots like that size, about £24.99, or you can buy a smaller one at £19.99 here. This is another brand new one. These have only been trialled about 2 years ago, and they're just about to be released onto the market, but we've got the first ones here. Okay, so that's Hydrangea paniculata, and they're all available online at the web shop, Newgate Direct. So there's some shrubs that are interesting. I'm going to do a whole section on grasses, so we're not going to overcomplicate it now. But one thing, if you're thinking, well, I need something for a pot that's going to give me colour for the autumn, and you don't want a perennial or a shrub, then these are called pennicetums, and they're absolutely fantastic. There's different foliage colours. You've got the silver one here, green and silver. You've got the deep purple, and then you've got the red, or the pinky red, which is fireworks. That's probably the most popular one. So they've got the lovely tassels, flower heads, they've got splendid foliage, and of course they're evergreen. Now, the thing to be warned about pennicetums, and a lot of people won't tell you this, but these coloured leaf varieties aren't the hardiest. So if you are going to invest in one of these, because they can cost you up to about £15, then if you're going to invest in one of these, you need to think, where am I going to put it in the winter? Because in the harshest of the winter months, it does need some shelter. If you want to just leave it out and forget it, then you need a Pennicetum Hamel. Alright, and that one, Pennicetum Hamel, has just green leaves, but has these beautiful flower heads. And we've got plenty of those in stock as well. Okay, so hopefully that'll give you a few ideas of how to sort of liven up the garden for late summer. In a few weeks' time, we'll send out the autumn video about mid-September. So keep your eyes out for that one. And hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Wanted.